Goodness. Ooh. Hi and welcome back to the show. We're airing 4:30 p.m. daily, Monday to Friday, and that's London time.
Yep.
What we're doing is we're learning mental multiplication together, but we're actually having quite a lot of fun. Today we're completing our orange belt and playing the Numba Ninja game. That means we're going to actually have a bumper show for you today, and if you want to, you can stay here and play the game with us, or you might decide you just want to watch part of the show and put off playing the game for over the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you. If you're going to miss your fix of this, fix. If you're going to miss your fix of the show over the weekend, then by all means watch part of it live with us. Pop back on Saturday or Sunday or both days if you like, and play the Numba Ninja game. It's going to be interactive with you guys. You're going to be commenting throughout the game. In fact, they're going to get points for these comments.
You're going to get lots of points for commenting during the game.
And those points are only if they do it live, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you might choose to hang around to get those extra points, yes? Yeah. And trust me, it's a fun game. It won't feel like you're here doing a load of learning. The game sort of, it helps pull together all of the things you've learned during the yellow and the orange belts, and it's a great way to do your practice, yeah? Be sure to tell your friends about this so they can come and have fun with us too. And would you mind just dropping a comment in the live chat now, telling us where you're from in the world and how old you guys are. If there's a family of you, pop all your ages in like some of you have been doing so far. It really does help us understand who we're reaching. Yoshi, do you want to tell us a bit more about those points?
Yeah, you're getting extra points for commenting in the first and last 2 minutes of the show, for coming here early and staying until the end. And even if you don't comment in the first and last 2 minutes, all of your points will add up throughout the show.
That's great. Thanks very much. If you were here with us yesterday, then welcome back and keep your eyes open for those shout-outs coming up in a moment. If it's your first time, then welcome aboard and do catch up with the rewind episodes, because we're looking at a whole system that's kind of a bit crazy. It's nothing like what you've done before. Yeah. And it'll really help you if you go back and watch the first episode and catch up with the things that we've done up until now, even though it's actually quite simple.
You just click up there to get to the first episode.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Yoshi. Mishi, don't tell me you've come with another joke, have you?
I have, yes.
Oh dear.
Numba Ninja.
And this
Racing
time
myself.
it's different
Oh,
than
thank
from
goodness for
before.
that. You mean funny?
No, it's a knock joke.
A knock joke. Go ahead.
Okay. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Juan.
Juan who?
Juan who hui.
So bad.
That's
But you've got a good riddle, have you? Hang on a minute. What's the consequence if I get it wrong today?
What do you think, Nick?
We're going to blend some spinach into your coffee.
You're serious?
Yes.
This is on top of the... what's in there so far?
There.
But
I'm
there's
losing track of
ginger.
this.
A teaspoon of ginger.
Yeah.
Tablespoon of butter.
Uh-huh.
A tablespoon of
Teaspoon
cooking oil,
of chilli.
a tablespoon of cooking oil, and now spinach. Because it's going to taste pretty good, isn't it?
And if I get it right...
You get my last mini roll.
A mini roll! My favourite!
Chocolate mini roll.
I've got to get this one right. Okay then, tell us your riddle.
Listen very carefully, Dad.
I'm listening.
100%.
100%. I really don't like spinach.
I met a man the other day.
Mm-hmm.
He said he went on an aeroplane.
Mm-hmm.
The aeroplane crashed
Right.
and every single person died.
That's not very nice.
How
Okay.
come he was there to tell me this?
Well, that's a good question.
So he was alive, yeah?
I've got it. He must have been a ghost.
Nope.
Okay. Can I have some time to think about it? Yep. Thankfully, it's a long show. Right. Airplane. So he is on the plane, yeah? And the plane crashed?
Yeah.
But you said everybody died. So how can he be alive? Oh, he's got to be a trick somewhere. Right, so as we get set up, ready to finish the orange belt, let's maybe do the shout-out, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done to all you early birds and stick-arounds who commented in the first and last 2 minutes of yesterday's show, and a special well done to the Riddle Master.
Right, let's begin, shall we, with our final picture story for the orange belt. Right, so we've learned about multiplying by 10, and we found that the 10 was really nothing more complicated than a 1 and a 0.
Yep.
And that's how we were able to use a very, very quick picture story of the snail to multiply by 10.
Yep.
But there are bigger numbers where we put zeros on the end. If I was to put an extra 0 on the end of 10, what do we call this number?
100.
100. And sometimes you think, wow, 100's a big number. If I had to multiply something by 100, that's going to be very difficult because it's such a large number. But really, when you break down the 100, you see it's nothing more than 1 with a couple of zeros. Yeah? And similarly, if I was to put another 0 on the end, you've just got a 1 with 3 zeros on the end. So large numbers with trailing zeros, zeros at the end in whatever quantity, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 zeros on the end, they should not frighten you, because all we need to do is say, well, what's at the beginning of all those zeros? And let's treat that as a number on its own. So if instead of having a 1 in front of our 3 zeros, if we'd had a, let's say the number 5, 5 and 3 zeros, that would be 5,000. But it's no more difficult than handling a 5 on its own and a small bunch of zeros. So what we're going to learn about is how we can use our multiplication system for multiplying by numbers that are very large because of these trailing zeros. And what process we're going to go through is treating the trailing zeros different and separate from whatever numbers in front. Yeah. So sometimes numbers can be a little intimidating because they look so big. Intimidating, scary. Yeah, scary, big and scary. Like 800 seems like a massive number, but really it's just a small 8 with some zeros on the end which are nothing anyway. Yes? Let's see what we can do with them. So sometimes we're going to come across a problem like this one here, 800 times 800.
Yeah.
Which looks like a very big multiplication problem. And if we were to break it down like we've just been discussing, we could take each of those 800s and we could say, well, really they're nothing more than 8 with a couple of zeros.
Yeah.
So we've got 8 with a couple of zeros on the left and another 8 with a couple of zeros on the right. So what I'm going to ask you to do when you see problems like this is to always look for trailing zeros and imagine it's a bit like when you see, have you ever got up in the morning and looked in your garden and seen like a silvery trail of where snails or slugs have been crawling around?
Yes.
Especially after a damp night when there's been a bit of rain on the ground.
Yeah.
And the snail likes to go moving about looking for some food. I want you to imagine it's a bit like going out in the morning and going on a snail or slug hunt. Looking for where have those snails gone, and you could follow the trail. And sometimes you'll find them hiding behind a flower pot or in a nice shady part of the garden, because once the sun comes out they go off to hide. But what you're going to do with these multiplications, you're going to say, well, there's 800 there. I'm going to pick up these 2 snails, the 2 zeros, from after my first 8. I'm going to pick those up and I'm going to put them in that shady little corner over there on the right hand side, just waiting for me to do my multiplication. And oh, I see these other zeros trailing after the other 8 as well. I'm going to pick those snails up and put those with the first 2. So I now have a snail trail with 4 snails sitting in.
Yeah.
So whenever you see zeros at the end of a number, not in the middle of a number, but at the end of a number, anything that's trailing, pick them all up, put them in a long line down here in that quiet corner, and we call that our snail trail. Before we do our 3 steps, we're always looking for any trailing zeros to peel off and put in our shady corner. So that 800 multiplied by 800 gets simplified down to 8 times 8. So once we've got those zeros or snail shells safely in the shady corner, what's left for us to solve is a much easier problem. Can you see? 8 times 8, yeah? Let's see what we do next. So we're going to tie together the snail trail with our 3 steps, and we'll take that same problem of 800 times 800 to demonstrate how that works alongside the 3 steps. We start off by peeling off our snail trail. So we found 2 zeros after each of the 8s. We picked those snails up and we put them in our quiet shady corner. So we've got 4 snails sitting in our snail trail, and we're left with our problem of 8 times 8. And that's the point where we then go through our 3 steps, which you did a moment ago. You said the key would be the
X.
good, the picture would be the
chessboard.
good, and the answer would be
10, that is put over, and the answer is 64.
64. Excellent. So we've got our answer of 64. And I said you'd need to know what to do with that and the shady corner, and we literally take your 64 and put it in front of all those zeros that are waiting in our shady corner. Now we've got a huge number there with 6 digits. We've got 640000. Now don't worry if you don't know how to say that, because we're going to be looking at those kind of numbers when we do the power tips later on today. But you could write that number down. If you had seen the problem written as 800 times 800, you could say, well, it's 640000. Don't know how you say it, but that's what the answer is.
Can I say the number?
Yes, you can.
640,000.
Well done, it is 640,000. And Karen, you're going to learn how Michelle was able to do that. Maybe we'll get Michelle to help with that, yes?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now those bigger numbers that might have many zeros at the end, they all have funny names, which we'll be looking at next week. But the idea of just answering one of these problems and putting a line of zeros on the end, do you understand that? That you can take 64, which was, say, the answer to the chessboard, or 49, and just line up some snails behind it. And
If you do, then put a 5 in the
yeah,
comments.
let's get a 5 for that. Even if you can't name the long number, don't worry if you can't name it just yet. You're going to learn all about that if you want next week. Yes? So 5 down in the live chat comments so we can see where you're at.
You're getting points for commenting.
Yeah, don't forget that. And let's have another look at a different example. Now, let's see if we can do that then with 100 times 700. What's the first thing we're going to do before we go down our 3 steps?
Take the 4 zeros away.
Take the 4 snails away, and where are we going to put those?
In the shady corner.
In the shady corner. And what problem are we left with? Instead of 100 times 700, we've now just got
1 and 7.
so 1 times 7. Now we're ready to do our 3 steps.
Yeah.
So we either going to choose the 1 or the X or the 7. Which would you like to use as the key?
The 1.
The 1. Why are you choosing the 1?
Because if there's a 1, you always choose the 1.
Excellent. Unless there's a...
0.
And there isn't a 0, because in fact we've got rid of all the zeros over there, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we've got 1 times 7. We've chosen 1 as the key. What's the picture for the 1?
The torch.
The torch. Well done. And what do we do with the torch?
Shine it on the 7 and the answer is 7.
We shine it on the 7, and the answer for that part would be 7. But we're going to take that 7, the answer of 7, and we're going to place that just in front of our shady corner so that we see 7, 0, 0, 0, 0, which you could write down even if you can't say it. I expect, Michelle, you'd like to have a go at saying that, would you?
70,000.
That is 70,000. Well done. This is how we multiply large numbers with hundreds or thousands or even larger numbers than that using this 3-step process. And that's how we tie it together with the 3 steps. Okay, fairly straightforward, yeah. Well, there's an even quicker shortcut you can take when there's only 2 or 3 zeros to deal with. Let's see how we use that, shall we? Now, there is one little shortcut that can really help, and that is this. If one of the numbers that you're multiplying by is a 1 followed by any number of zeros, just like when we did the number 10.
Yeah.
So it's 1 with 1 0. Or if it was 1 with 2 zeros, being something times 100, or 1 with 3 zeros, so we've got something times 1000. Doesn't matter how many zeros you've got after a 1, then the quickest way is to take this shortcut. Instead of peeling off all the zeros and putting them in the shady corner, leaving you with a simple multiplication of something times 1, which you would know the answer because you just shine the torch at the something.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that and then having to take all of the zeros out of the shady corner, you can simply take all of those zeros that are after the 1 and just move those to the end of the other number. So for example, if we had, let's say, 15 times 100, we would take those 2 zeros from the 100 and move them across, put them after the 15, so you get 15 and 2 zeros, or 1500.
Yeah.
In fact, if you name them like that, if you say, well, it's 100, it's 15 times 100, as you've already got a name for those 2 zeros being 100, you can just say, well, it's 15 times 100, so it's 1500. Or if it was 3 zeros, meaning 1000, you'd say it's 15 times 1000, so it's 15,000. Yeah? So where we've got just 2 or 3 zeros and we know the names of those things, don't worry if you don't know the names, that's part of what we'll do next week. But where we can say 2 zeros, they are hundreds, 3 zeros, they are thousands. And very often that will be in the question itself. So someone might say, what is 1,000 times 15? And you'd say 15,000. But let's see what else we can do with some numbers that just start with a 1 and have a string of zeros afterwards. Yeah. But let's say it was a larger number of zeros. Let's say we had 15 and 15 already had 2 zeros after it. So we've got 1,500 on one side, and on the other side we've got, let's say, 1,000. Now we wouldn't normally say 1,500,000 because it's not how we would express that number. Yeah? But what this shortcut helps us do is just to take those 3 zeros that are after the 1 in 1,000 and just move them across to put them behind the 1,500.
Yeah.
So we'd get 1500,000, and that's how you'd write the number. So it's a little bit of a time saver to get straight to the answer, and you use that only when one of the numbers is a whole load of zeros with just a single 1 at the beginning.
That would be 1,500,000.
Well done, and we'll look at how those are named later. You're absolutely right, 1,500,000.
Okay.
So let's see how we would apply this with Funny Man Dan's bow tie. Yes? Now let's see if we can put that particular key together with our snail trail. Let's imagine instead of 7 times 7 we had 70 times 70. Can you see we've got a problem here with snails hanging on the end?
Yes.
What did we do with the snail trail? Do you remember?
We peeled them off and put them in a shady corner.
So we're going to peel off those zeros and put them in the shady corner where snails like to go. Well done, Mishy. What are we left with as our multiplication problem over here?
7 times 7.
7 times 7. Then we're going to go through the 3 steps, which say the key is the...
X.
Good. The picture is the...
Bow tie.
Well done. And the story tells us that Funny Man Dan is...
49.
49. Good. So, having found the answer of 49, with the snail trail, we just put the 49 down in front of our 2 snails waiting in the shady corner, and we can see the answer is 4900. 0. And it doesn't matter whether or not you know how to say that just yet, although you're going to learn that very, very soon, but you know how to write the answer. And Michelle, I can see you jumping up and down, really wanting to tell us how to say 4900. Tell us.
4,900.
4,900. Well done. And that's absolutely right. Let's just try that again with some extra zeros on our snail trail. If instead of 70 times 70 we had, let's say, 700 times 70. What's the first thing we're going to do?
Put the zeros in the shady corner.
The zeros.
That's right. So how many zeros do we now have in our shady corner?
3.
3 zeros in our shady corner. We're left with 7 times 7, and we know that we can almost jump up those 3 steps because Funny Man Dan is how old?
He's 49.
He's 49, so the same 49 goes down in front of our snail trail. The only difference is our snail trail has an extra 0 in now. So we've got 49000, which you could write down whether you can say it or not. You'll be able to say these numbers very, very soon because we've got a little power tip coming up about that in a moment. But Mishi, would you like to tell us how you would say this number?
You would say 49,000.
49,000, that's spot on, well done. Let's do just one more, and let's set up 700 times 700. So this time we're going to peel off the snail trail. How many snails will we have in our shady corner?
4.
Wonderful, so we got 4 snails in our shady corner, and we're left again with a very simple problem of 7 times 7. You're going to leap up the 3 stairs for me. How old is Funny Man Dan?
49.
He's 49, well done. So we're going to put that down in front of our shady corner snails, and we see 490000, which looks like a massive number, doesn't it?
Number.
You can write it down, and in a moment you're going to be learning how to say this. Mishi, you're really keen to tell us how you say this one.
490,000.
490,000. Well done, Mishi. That's spot on. Okay, that's it. Do you get that? Can you see how what we've done within this orange belt actually is all just as easy as it was in the yellow belt?
Yeah, if you get that, then put a 5 in the comments.
Okay, thank you. As Mishi was saying the other day, that each of these belts, none of them are particularly difficult. They just have slightly more advanced picture stories in.
And it gets slower.
And they get a bit slower to use, because we're doing the faster keys first. And these orange belt keys, you've got everything now. You've got a range of 6 picture stories. We're going to be playing the game in a minute to pull this all together and practice these. That's quite good fun. And I'd just like to see those 5s to make sure that you all feel ready to play the game, to jump from one picture story to another, to put these things together, and it's a little bit like being tested, but it's in a fun way during the game. Yes?
Yeah.
So that's what's coming in a moment, the Number Ninja game. It's a really good, fun way.
Riddle, Dad.
Oh, the riddle. Oh, dear.
Remember to put your answers in the live chat if you think you've got the answer. If you get the answer right before she reveals the actual answer, you'll get 500 points. And if you put in an answer but don't get it right, you'll still get 100 points. So go ahead and do that now.
Whoa,
Yeah.
being generous today. Right, Karen, now we've got a bit of a bumper show going on today, but I think I might have forgotten what the riddle was. I haven't really been thinking about it. So remind me, what was the riddle?
Listen very carefully, Dad.
I always listen very carefully. I just never seem to... Go on.
100%.
I met a man the other day.
Mm-hmm.
He said he went in an aeroplane.
Mm-hmm.
The aeroplane crashed and every single person died in the airplane.
Oh, that's very sad.
How come he was there to tell me this?
Because he wasn't in the plane.
he was in a plane?
Because he had a parachute.
Nope.
Can I have a guess? Maybe he was outside the plane. Maybe he was holding onto the plane.
Nope.
Plane.
Was he
inside
Superman?
Nope. He was in the plane.
I don't know. Give me some more time to think about it. Maybe while we're playing the game, I'll come up with a better answer. Yeah. Okay. Now, while we're playing the game, we'd love you guys to get involved too. Whether you're here on the live show or even watching the rewind, we'd love you to actually think about the problems that get thrown up during the multiplication game. Yeah? What I mean is, whenever the dice roll a question, I'd like you to think about the answer for yourselves. We'll actually pause the game and we'll give you a little countdown or something to give you a few seconds to type your answer in. See how quickly you can pop your answer in. See if you can get it in before the timer runs out. In fact, see if you can get your answer in before other people. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just puts a bit of time pressure on you to think, can I get my answer down? And don't worry, we'll give you plenty of time to do it. Yeah? But we want you to think rather than just watch the game. Yeah? Well, shall we set up the Number Ninja game?
Yeah, okay.
Can you move the cameras, Josh? Yeah.
Let's go.
So, kicking you off, Karen, your first question, 10 times 8. What do you think, Mish?
That's correct.
Well done, Karen. That's 2 spaces for you, Karen. Well done. So, Mish, your first question, 8 times 8.
$64.
What do you think, Karen?
Good.
Lovely. 1 space for you, Mish. So back to you, Karen, with 0 times 5.
Zero.
Well, what do you think, Missy?
Correct.
Excellent, well done. 2 more for you, Karen. There we go. So back to you, Mish, with 100 times 11.
$1,100.
1,100, Karen. What do you think?
Good.
Excellent, well done. So 2 for you, Mish. So as you've landed on a ninja star, would you like to talk us through the 3 steps?
Yes. So, first of all, you peel off all the zeros, and then the key is the 1, the picture is the torch shines on the 11, and you put the zeros on the end of the 11 to make 1,100.
What do you think, Karen?
Good.
Excellent, well done. Here's your bonus move. Right, back to you, Karen, with 11 times 1.
$11.
What do you think, Mish?
Yep.
Okay, 2 places for you, Karen.
1, 2.
Well done. So, Karen, as you've landed on a ninja star, you get a chance to talk us through the 3 steps. Would you like to do that now? Okay.
The 1 is the key. The picture is the torch.
Yes.
And the story is that you shine the torch on the 11 and the answer is 11.
What do you think, Michelle?
That's correct.
Well done, Karen. Here's your bonus move.
1.
Good. Right, back to you, Mish, with 7 times 7.
$49.
What do you think, Karen?
Good.
So Mishy gets one move. Karen, do you want to move him one?
1.
So back to you, Karen, with 3 times 10.
30.
Okay, Michelle, what do you think?
Correct.
Lovely. So that's 2 moves for you, Karen. Wonderful. And you're on a ninja star again. Would you like to go through the 3 steps for a bonus move?
The 10 is the key, the picture is the snail, and the story is that you take the 0 and put it on the 3.
If you want.
30.
What do you think, Mishi?
That's right.
So you can move your bonus space, Karen. Well done. So 0 times 12, that one's for you, Mish.
Zero.
Karen?
Well done.
Excellent, 0. So can you move Michelle 2 squares?
1, 2.
Excellent. So back to you, Karen. We have 8 times 8.
64.
Mishi?
That's correct.
Well done then, Karen. That's 1 move for you, Karen, yes? Lovely. So 0 times 8, that's for you, Mish.
Zero again.
Good.
0 again, well done. Okay, thank you, Karen. So that's 2 spaces for Michelle. Can you move him forward 2, please, Karen?
1, 2.
And that puts you on a ninja star. So would you like to talk us through the 3 steps for 0 times 8?
Yes. The key is the 0, the picture is the black hole, and the black hole sucks up any number, and the answer is 0.
What do you think, Karen?
Good.
Excellent. So you move a bonus space. You can move his character. So back to you, Karen, with 12 times 100.
1200.
1200. What do you think, Mish?
Yep.
1200 it is then. Well done, Karen. So that's 2 spaces for you, Karen. Move yourself 2 spaces.
2.
Lovely. Back to you, Mishi, with 1 times 10.
10.
What do you think, Karen?
Good.
Excellent. 2 spaces for Mishi.
1, 2.
Excellent. And you're back on a ninja
Ninja
star.
star.
So it's 3 steps again for you.
The key is the 1, the picture is the torch, and the story is that you pick up the torch and shine it on the other number, which is the 10. So the answer is 10.
Excellent. You happy with that, Karen?
Yes.
Good. So a bonus move for Mishi brings you neck and neck again. Excellent. So Karen, back to you with 1 times 6.
6.
Okay, so 2 moves for Karen. And as you've landed again on a ninja star, would you like to talk us through the 3 steps?
The 1 is the key, the picture is the torch, and the story is that you shine the torch on 6 and the answer is 6.
Mishi, what do you think?
Correct.
Well done, Karen. Bonus move. Good. Back to you, Mish, with 10 times 10.
100.
What do you think, Karen?
Good.
so 2 moves for Mishi. Good. And you're on a ninja star again. Would you like to talk us through the 3 steps, Mish?
Yes. The key is the 10. The picture is the snail. And you take the 0 and you put it on the back of the other number, which makes 100.
Okay, so you're taking 1 snail shell from one of the 10s and sticking it onto the other
Yes.
10 to give you 100.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think of that, Kerry?
Good.
Well done. Your bonus move, Mish, brings you back next to each other again. This is a close one, isn't it?
Yep.
So, this is a big one, isn't it? We've got 100 times 10, Karen.
$1,000.
Mishi, what do you think of that? 1,000.
That's right.
Good, so that's 2 spaces for Karen. And I see you're on another ninja star.
The 10 is the key. The picture is the snail. And the story is that you peel off the 0 from the 10 and you put it on the 100 and the answer is 1,000.
Good. What do you think of that, Mishi?
That's correct.
Wonderful. So if you put another 0 in the end of 100, it becomes 1,000. So it's Karen's bonus move. So back to you, Mish, with 10 times 5.
$50.
What do you think, Karen?
Good.
Excellent. So 2 moves forward for you, Mishi. You're on a ninja star yet again, so would you like to talk us through the 3 steps?
Yes. The key is the 10. The picture is the snail. And you take the shell off and put it on the end of the 5, which makes 50.
What do you think, Karen?
Good.
Your bonus move, Mish. This is a close one, isn't it? So back to you, Karen. We have 7 times 7.
$49.
What do you think, Mish? 7 times 7 is 49?
That's right.
Well done, Karen. So Karen moves 1 space. Good. So next we have, for Mish, 9 times 100.
$900.
What do you
Well
think?
done.
Excellent. So Mishi, you get to move 2 spaces, taking the lead. You're back on a ninja star yet again. Would you like to talk us through the 3 steps, Mish?
Yes. So first of all, you peel off all the 0s. Then the key is the 1. The picture is the torch. And you pick up the torch and shine it on the 9. And you take the 0s and put it on the end of the 9, which makes 900.
What do you think of that, Karen?
Well done.
Excellent. Bonus move takes you even further into the lead. Well done. So we've got 100 times 4. This is for you, Karen.
$400.
What do you think, Mish? 400. Well done, Karen. So Karen takes 2 moves to catch you up, Mishi. It's close. Almost at the end there, Mish. You've got an 8 times 8.
$64.
Karen?
Well done.
So just 1 move for you, Mish. It's a tight one on the finish. Okay, so Karen, this question's for you. 10 times 0.
$0.
What do you think, Mish?
That's correct.
Great. And Karen's going to steal the lead with 2 moves. Whoa. And it looks like you're arriving at the top of the board.
It's time for my level 1 now.
So we're starting off with 7 times 7.
$49.
Is she?
Yep.
Good. So next is 11 times 10, Karen.
$110.
Ish.
Yep.
Excellent. So your next question, 100 times 2.
$200. That's right.
Well done. Now we have 8 times 8.
$64.
Ish.
That's right.
Well done. So we have 0 times 6.
$0.
Ish. 0 times 6. Yes. Good. And next up, 2 times 100.
$200.
Mish.
Well done.
Excellent. Next we have 7 times 7.
$49.
Mish.
Yep.
Excellent. So your last question, 10 times 4.
$40.
40. What do you think, Mish?
Excellent.
Well done, Karen. That's you home and dry. Well done.
Yay!
So, Mish, this is for you. 100 times 1.
$100.
Karen?
Well done.
So, Mishy, you get to move up the top there to do your lap of honour. Yes. So, Mish, your first one is 6 times 10.
$60.
Well done.
Then we've got 0 times 5.
$0.
Good.
Good. We have 8 times 8.
$64.
Well done.
Yes. 10 times 8.
$80.
I like that.
Good. We've got 10 times 100.
$1,000.
Good.
Well done. Now we have 7 times 7.
$49.
Well done.
Brilliant. 8 times 0.
$0.
Well done.
Yes. And your last one, 100 times 9.
900.
Well done.
Excellent. Well done, Mishi. You've completed your lap of honour as well.
Yes.
Did you enjoy that as much as we did? Getting involved, putting your answers in? If you did, I'm not going to ask for a 5. I'm going to ask you to put a score out of 10. If you thought the game was rubbish, give us a 0. And if you thought it was great, give us a 10. And if you have suggestions for how the game could be improved, pop those down as well. I'm open to suggestions. What I'm going to suggest you do, if you enjoyed the game and you want to keep practicing these things over the weekend, come back in again. Watch the game again. The same problems will show up again. It doesn't matter. But it gives you a chance to practice in this environment that you're familiar with, only giving you multiplications that are covered by the yellow belt and the orange belt of the Number Ninja system. And why don't you ask your friends to join you too? They might want to come along and join the live show. So that's what we'll be doing next week, yeah?
What about my riddle, Dad?
Oh my goodness, the riddle.
This is your final chance to pop your answers down in the live chat before Karen reveals the answer.
I'm a bit stumped with this riddle, I'm afraid. Just remind me, how does it go?
Listen very carefully, Dad.
I'm listening so hard.
100%.
100%, yeah. Go on.
I met a man the other day.
Mm-hmm.
He said he went in an aeroplane.
Mm-hmm.
The aeroplane crashed and every single person died.
Mm-hmm.
How come he was there to tell me this?
Either he didn't die, but you said they all died, or he died and he's like a zombie or something. I don't know. He came back to life. He's a ghost. He's got to be a ghost.
He isn't.
Go on then. What's your answer?
Because it says every single person died, but he was married. He wasn't a single person.
He was in a couple.
Oh dear, dear, dear. What's happening to my coffee?
We're putting spinach in your coffee.
And I get the mini roll.
My favourite.
Revolting.
You know, it's a little bit late for coffee today. Maybe I can have it next week?
Okay then.
Yeah, okay.
Remember, more bad things could go in your coffee.
Oh, okay, I'll have the weekend to prepare for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, we're going to be back on Monday, 4:30, daily next week, Monday to Friday. We're going to be working on the green belt together. If you've got friends that you think might enjoy coming along, get them to watch the catch-ups on YouTube. Send them a link to the first episode so they can be with you and take part next week. It'll be more fun having more people here, won't it?
Yeah.
But for now, bye.
Bye.